Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fox 12 Now, part of Fox 12 Oregon. I'm Greg Nibbler. We're coming to you here with breaking news. You may or may not have heard, but the Oregon Secretary of State, Shemia Fagan, has resigned as of today after a number of things that have gone on over this last week. We are joined now live by our own Connor McCarthy, who is down in Salem. Connor, I know you have the latest news on everything that's going on. Can you kind of fill us in on what's happening here?
Yeah, Greg. So we just made it down to Salem right now. We will be at a press availability with the Republican caucus to kind of get their reaction at the moment. But the biggest news, as you said, the Oregon Secretary of State resigned. And this is also important that I think a lot of people here at Oregon forget is that the Secretary of State is also second in line to the governor's office. So whoever is appointed to replace her at this moment will be second in line to Governor Kotek. If anything happens to her, she would be the one that would take her place. But Fagan has been in the middle of a controversy ever since an audit that came out that showed that she has a side business with a cannabis company, and she was consulting for them, making about $10,000 a month. And she went on TV yesterday, had a press conference, apologized for having this side job. She said she canceled the contract. She no longer works with this company, but welcomed an ethics investigation. So her resigning about 24 hours after this press conference is kind of a shock at this moment in the political world here in Oregon. But yeah, biggest news right now is she will be out on May 8th, and whoever will replace her will be second in line to the governor's office.
So, I mean, I know this is just happening right now. It didn't seem like that was necessarily going to be what she was going to do. She may issue that apology. Is there anything that you know that's changed or been revealed in the last couple of days since that apology?
Nothing that I've heard of or seen at the moment. There have been a lot of calls for her resignation, especially people of the Democratic Party as well. They've been calling on her to resign. Former Secretary of States for Oregon have also called on her to resign. So there was pressure from all sides of the aisle, all across the political world here in Oregon, to get her out of office and replaced with someone new. And also, she's the head of elections here in Oregon. And you need someone who's transparent and trustworthy, especially with everything going on nationally, with people questioning the integrity of elections. So having someone in a role where this news came about of her having a side job doesn't really help with the integrity of the office.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming from that, you know, you mentioned that there's been calls from kind of all sides. A lot of people asking for resignation. I know you've been down there just for a little bit. What kind of feedback have you gotten since you've been there?
Well, Governor Kotek applauded this decision. She said that this would be best for the office that she holds if she resigned, and she accepts this resignation. And Republicans are also, very grateful that they believe that Fagan heard their calls for a resignation as well. I did speak to our political analysis on the way down here to Salem, kind of about this whole situation and what this means for Oregon. He brought up a point that, Oregon's Secretary of State, that office hasn't had someone complete a full term since former Governor Kate Brown, when she held that office back before 2009 to the 2013 term.
Wow.
But as we all know, she became governor when that former governor resigned because of a scandal. And so whoever is appointed right now will finish out the rest of Fagan's term and a new election in 2024. Down the road, I don't want to say the exact dates, but definitely down the road, Oregonians will finally have the chance to vote in a new Secretary of State.
Yeah, this the replacement or the temporary person that's going to be put in, they're going to have some time in that office, then it sounds like, which is, there's a lot of that term left to be figured out. And I wonder what this does, to her agendas, to everything that she was working on, if that continues. Looking at like the rest of your day, and I know that's a lot of speculation right now. We don't know the answers to that stuff, I'm sure. But for the rest of your day, you're there, you're on the site, you've done this so far, you got the Kotek's reaction. What comes next as far as the rest of the day?
So the rest of the day right now is, just following up on who will be appointed. I do not have that name on hand, but the Secretary of State's office already has someone that will take her spot. So that's the next step at the moment. And for that person, it will be taking over all the responsibilities, like you said. And right now there is a review of Oregon's election system and kind of modernizing this system. So this is a very big job for the Secretary of State at the moment, and having the current one leave fills a hole in that agenda. And also, our political analysis brought up a good point that, just because this corruption is isolated in one office, the mistrust kind of bleeds into all levels of government, because right now people see someone who had a side job and makes people question the integrity of other offices. So there's a more of a long down the road impact of this resignation than just a Secretary of State office being vacant.
Yeah, that's a lot of potential fallout right there, just for exactly those reasons that you just said. Well, I know you've got a lot on your plate here to figure out what's going on, and we're obviously covering this. It's breaking news. In case you didn't know, you're just tuning in. Oregon Secretary of State Fagan has resigned. We're getting reactions. Connor's going to be down there finding out what happens next, who gets appointed. A lot of questions to be answered today, and I know you'll be there covering the whole thing. We'll be following along with everything that you're doing, and I don't know if this will happen where we have another chance to talk to you live if you find out some more information as we go throughout the day. But Connor, thank you very much for being there, to get all of this to us.
Yeah, thank you. We'll have more tonight on the 4 o'clock news and throughout the evening.
Fantastic. All right, Connor McCarthy right here for Fox 12 Oregon. And again, thank you everybody for tuning in. I know this is a brief break, brief update, but this is what we know so far, and we definitely thank Connor for letting us know what's going on. So Oregon Secretary of State Fagan resigning. We'll have more info. Follow us, kptv.com, and of course at the 4, 5, 6 every news hour that we have coming up. We'll have more information that's going on, but we will be right here bringing you everything that we know as well.